I would say this is probably the best way to bow hunt in North Carolina, or in Fort Bragg anyway, because what I have on the back here is a platform, and I'm already wearing my saddle. All right, so now all I'm doing is carrying a bow, and I got everything I need right here in this backpack. I don't know, maybe I'm carrying 20 pounds total. I don't know, but it's not enough to bitch about. It's not a big old bulky climber, because saddle hunting was probably invented out of necessity, because a lot of like different places in the deer hunting country, they have a lot of trees with low limbs and branchy trees where a climber just don't work. So with the sticks, you can get up, you can move them over, you can climb over branches, and you can get up in a tree, kind of like the one I'm looking at. But yeah, that's a nice tree to climb, actually. But what we contend with in North Carolina or at Fort Bragg the most are these right here, pine trees, and they're a pain in the ass, whether you got a climber or you got sticks, because they, the bark. But I'm gonna demonstrate my system on this pine tree. Now, if you can find, and you can find them, a nice hardwood tree, okay, typically the ones we have around here, they go at least 20 feet most of the times before they even start branching off with the big branches, not the little ones you can saw off. But that pine tree right there is going to be perfect. I'm walking in, simulating that I got my bow. What do I got? I got the Cruiser XC saddle. I've got a XOP pack that usually holds a platform. But what I've got is the top part of a lone wolf climber. Okay, it's all you got right now until somebody comes up with, one specifically for this. But I'm going to demonstrate it. All right, if you know the lone wolf climbing system, then you know this is how it attaches to a tree, your rubber bands. This is the top part that's normally a seat, and then there's a part on the bottom which is bigger, and you climb up. And it's kind of a pain in the ass, but it works very well. A lot of people love it. A lot of people now are modifying it for this reason. When I say modify, I mean we are changing the angle of the dangle by putting in a 5/16 bolt right there. Because typically, if you take that bolt out, this would fold down a little more flat, and it would give this less angle. What has been found is through climbing in this system, it's a lot better to have more tree clearance when you lift up, because of that rubber band getting snagged on, especially bark. Especially if you're in the Carolinas, a lot of pine trees. But yeah, so that's the mod. And then, of course, just a strap for your feet. And then this little rope right here will help you lift it up and get your feet underneath there when it's time to go up and go down. And of course, this can hook to your carabiner, to your bridge on your saddle. In case it falls out, you can just pull it back up. So we're gonna climb this tree. I don't have anybody here helping me out, so I am not gonna climb very high, but you'll get the point. Okay, I've made it to my tree. I'm not gonna carry the backpack because I'm not hunting. I don't have my bow, so I don't need a whole bunch of stuff. When I get to the tree, I wanna secure my safety rope and my tether. You go ahead and you wrap your tether to the tree. And I just go ahead and clip it in. Pretty self-explanatory. I hope y'all can hear me, because I don't have a mic. Now, what's good about this method is, you gotta attach it to your bridge. During the climbing process, at no time are you untethered from the tree. So as soon as you clip in your bridge to this carabiner, for those safety guys that are always harping about me not wearing a harness in my climber, booyah, right there. Okay, so now no matter what I do, I'm tethered to the tree. I've got my safety line connected to my platform, and you just want to climb. Okay. And I recommend having a ropeman or a conduct for this process. Makes it a hell of a lot easier. I tried it with a Prusik first, and it was a pain in the ass. So basically what you're going to do now is, you got the platform strapped to your feet, and then you're just going to move your rope up, your tether. Go ahead and give it some slack, which is what's good about the ropeman or the conduct, conduct. Okay, go ahead and tighten it up, kind of give it a sit, it's going to slide a little bit because there's a pine tree. Give it another lift. I like to do 3 of them, and then just sit on it like you're suspended and lift your feet up and repeat. I go ahead and let some slack out on my ropeman. I lift it up, I tighten it, pull the slack up, sit, pull, I'm locked, up, make sure it's nice and secure. There we go, and repeat. Coming down, same process, pretty easy. You just pull it to about chest level. I don't know if you can see that, but I bring my tether down to chest level, and I pull my ropeman all the way up to where my ropeman's pretty much sitting at my rope. I go, see, I got that bark, but you're safe because you're secure to the tree. I like to kind of bring my ropeman slack out until my knees are a little bit more flat, or my thighs are, kind of like I'm sitting in a chair. And with that modification, when I tilt my toes to the ground, it's going to give me more clearance out here. I can just drop my feet and repeat that process. Take out some slack, move rope down, tighten, tongued up or ropeman up, sit, make sure it's secure. I let a little slack out, so I'm like sitting in a chair. Then you push off the tree a little bit, just drop your feet, just like you're in your summit. Now, I would say that if you're well writ with a summit, that you're still going to get up the tree faster in it. But it's bulkier, takes a little bit longer to set up, and boom. I mean, it's pretty easy. You disconnect, take your rope, connect your platform to your bag, and roll the fuck out. Okay, so you're at your end of your hunt now and you want to come down. Here's just another method that I've been playing with. I did not invent it, but I've been playing with it. Is you get you a 30-foot rock climbing rappel rope and drop it to the ground. All right, now you take out your figure 8. Make sure, I like to use these carabiners with the screw ends, not the snap links or whatever you call them. I'm not a rock climber, but I don't know, therefore I don't know. Shit, I'm tired. Now I'm doing this without a belay man, which some people would say is not smart, but I'm going to be in the woods doing this with no belay man. I think it's a pretty safe system. I don't know. What I like to do is, if you got I'm not going to show you how to make a figure 8. I don't want to be responsible for that. Someone else invented it, someone else can teach it, but I do a double. You know how to do a figure 8 carabiner. You loop it through and around the bottom. I like to loop it through twice because that just makes the descent slower. So these screw-in ones are a bit of a pain in the ass, but makes me feel a little bit more safe because they're like solid. I think this is probably one that's made for a truck. All right, once you got your D-ring locked in, you're now tethered to the tree, and you can go ahead and lock that. See, that is a very, very secure hitch. And now, once your carabiner's locked, which means if you fall, it ain't gonna go anywhere, you can get rid of your tether. Where's that? Oh, my little backup knots are catching it. So you can get rid of your tether. You can go ahead and stuff it back in your pouch, which is what I would do if I was hunting, but for demonstration purposes, I'll just let it go. So now this will just act as your descent, or how you climbed down before. So now you just take your feet, point them to the ground, and slowly let out on this and come down the tree. Whoopee! Whoopee! Elevator. And that's it. Pretty simple stuff. Now, the question would be, if you're 30 feet up or you're 20 feet up, how do you get that out? Well, I didn't demonstrate it, but you got to clip like a little piece of 550 cord to a small carabiners on the opposite side of your hook, and then you pull it. Or you can sit here and do this and it'll come down. But I think y'all should check that out. I think it's a pretty cool system. I'm pretty excited about it. All right, one of the questions that I had and that I get when explaining this and trying to get people to visualize it is, once you're up and you're perched, if you know a climber, then you know that if you start, and you know saddle hunting, you know that to combine the platform and the saddle, you've got to kind of lean off the side of your platform when you're saddle hunting sometimes to get a shot. And if you do that with a climber, it's going to kick out. So my research, people are using a ratchet strap to basically connect from this side to that side. So with that in mind, I got a ring of steps. Now these are the XOP. I forgot what they're called. Somebody had asked me earlier in the week. And basically what they are, it's a ratchet strap. You see it's got a tensioner, or what do you call that? A ratchet. It goes around the tree. But these act dual purpose because they have steps on them. So I'm going to show you what I do. Okay, basically what I do in a nutshell is, when I'm climbing, I go ahead and I D-ring snap these to my platform, so they're hanging the whole time. You just, doesn't make a whole lot of noise. They just suspend like this. Okay, so whenever I get up to the top of the tree, let's see, they should be like this actually. Okay, I let out my ropeman and I just squat down. You're safe. You know, you ain't going nowhere. You squat down, you reach down, and you grab this part. And you hook it. You hook it to the platform. Okay. I'll get a little bit closer view there. You see? You hook it on that side, and then you hook it on that side. Okay? And you can see how the steps act. So then, and this can be a pain in the ass. I know somebody in particular right now that's like, oh, I could already be taking a nap in my climber. I'm a climber guy. Well then don't watch the fucking video. What do you want from me? But you pull it tight. And you cinch that bitch in. And now what you have, it's pretty obvious, but if you don't saddle hunt and you haven't tried it yet, I'm gonna have to explain it. When your feet are here, okay, you're locked in, you got a nice sturdy platform, and let's say you got a deer over there, okay? He's at your 3 o'clock, basically. So there's my 3 o'clock. Oh, let's do it this way. I'm here, okay? You want to shoot him. So the easiest thing to do, I guess, would be to turn around, but you know, it's a pain in the ass. So what you can do is you can put your left foot on this step, or your left foot on this step, and now your foot's on the edge of the platform, which now you can, if you tighten it down, this is a demonstration, but you can lean on this, and it's nice and tight. It's solid, ain't going nowhere. So you got right foot, left foot, and now you lean back and you can get all the way around the tree just on those 2 steps. Same goes for the other side. If you've got one behind you, and of course I'm doing this backwards, you got a deer behind you. You got a tree right here, but there's a deer back there. How you gonna shoot him? You can turn around, I guess, but it's a lot easier to hook your right foot in on this step and your left foot here, because now you got the tree, and now you turn around, and now your vision's over here. So you can do that just with a ratchet. Oh, fuck, that hurt. I hit my dip can with my finger. Hit a nerve. So that's it. You're essentially going into the woods with your weapon, whether you have a gun or a bow, or if you pee sitting down, you got a crossbow, or maybe, I don't want to say that, maybe you're old and handicapped and you need a crossbow. That's a little inside joke. But any weapon of choice, a spear, if that's what you're into, if it's legal in your state, you can. I mean, this backpack is enough. You can hold all your calls, your coffee, your Copenhagen, everything. And you're walking in, and I would say maybe 20 pounds total, because I bring water and coffee, and of course I bring some victuals with me if I'm gonna be up there a while. Very comfortable system. There's some other little tips and tricks, but that would be more on saddle hunting in general. This is just more on the no stick climbing method. You see, I didn't have to put no sticks up. I don't have to wrap them up. I don't have no bulky sticks hanging off the back of my thing, and I can go. I know some guys in Texas that this won't work for. They've got to have sticks. But if you look around and you see in the background here, I mean, this is what I'm dealing with most of the time. Pine trees. And if I'm lucky, I can find an oak holler or a fucking oak grove with some nice, hardwood trees, which makes the climb a little easier because you're not dealing with bark. But 90% of the time I'm dealing with bark. So there you go. I hope this was informative. And I hope to have some innovations on this in the future, hint hint to a certain individual, that will make this process not a modification but a mainstay. Thanks for watching.